Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from WBLS. And, our first guest this morning has been working on a wide variety of hybrid vehicles to improve our air quality and reduce our air reliance, our reliance on foreign oil. Makes a whole lot of sense, right? We're here with more as Senior Electrical Vehicle Specialist, Kerry Jane King. We welcome you to the show. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Now, we're doing a lot with the transit, right? You have the clean energy buses, of course, other vehicles running throughout the city. Tell us about that.
Yes, actually, the Power Authority was very early on was involved with the development of the hybrid transit buses that you see all over the city. We formed a partnership with other entities like the Electric Power Research Institute, NYSERDA, and New York City Transit, of course, and we helped fund the development of these transit buses you see everywhere now.
Yeah. Now, these electrical vehicles are called hybrid?
Those ones are called hybrids, and they're pretty mainstream now. You know about the Prius, and what's really exciting is the plug-in vehicles that are coming out.
The plugging vehicles?
Plug-in.
Oh, the plug-in vehicles.
They plug in, and there are a whole range of those. I don't know if you've noticed and you've seen the ads for the Volt, for example.
Yeah.
That's an extended range electric vehicle. So it plugs in, it drives the first 40 miles all electric, and then when the battery runs down, the engine that's on board kicks in and powers the vehicle to go the rest of the way. So it'll go as far as a regular car, but it's got that first 40 miles all electric.
Yeah. Does it charge up while it's going? Does it have the alternator that charges everything?
It does. It charges it. It has like a hybrid in the sense that the regenerative braking charges a battery, which adds power for acceleration.
Sure.
But what's great about this vehicle is that you're taking power from the grid and you're using the electricity to displace petroleum.
Beautiful.
So those first 40 miles you're using only electricity, no gasoline at all. And it's a great way to wean us off petroleum and clean up the air.
Yeah. Well, we could drive from here to South Carolina. I spend a lot of money on gas. Now, how long does a hybrid car run on that? How far can you go?
Well, with the Bolt, you can go 40 miles in electric mode, but then you can drive as far as a conventional vehicle. With other vehicles coming out now, like the Ford Focus, which is an all-electric car with no gas engine on board, and the Nissan Leaf, again, all-electric, you can go about 100 miles.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of figure out how you're going to make these work.
Yeah.
Like for me, for example, I commute 9 miles each way. So I could go in a Ford Focus EV or a Nissan Leaf EV, or I could go in the Volt, and I could go all electric round trip. And I would only have to
not spend a dime on gas, or just the initial startup of not even the startup of the car. It's really, and they are so we have
cool.
to get one of those.
Yeah, they are so cool to drive.
Yeah.
You have to. I really recommend that you go to a dealership, you get in one, and you try it out, because they have the really, really fast acceleration, really, really quiet. It's just so much fun to drive these cars.
We should get a BronxNet vehicle, right? Can they give us one? We'll show it on the air and everything. We're all over the place.
We do have programs with the City University of New York.
Sure.
And we can look into it. What we try to do, our role is we really try to introduce these new technologies and support their adoption and try and accelerate the market for them, because they can be of so much benefit, and they're really by using these sorts of technologies, we can keep the cost of power low and make better use of our energy overall.
How long have these electrical cars been in existence?
Well, electric cars, actually, the first electric car was...
I remember the bumper cars. You go to Ride Playland, it has a thing up there, there's a grid.
Yeah, and when I was...
But
yes, no, you're right. Well, I mean, that is an electric technology, and when I was a child, I grew up in London, we had electric milk floats, and they would deliver the milk to everybody's door, and we thought nothing about it. They would go very slowly, they would stop door to door, but because there was no gas on board, they didn't idle. When an electric vehicle stops, it doesn't use any energy. So it was an incredibly efficient way of delivering milk.
Yeah.
And but the first electric car was made in the early 1900s, but it's only with the advance in energy management through computers that we've really seen this huge development in advanced technology vehicles, and we've been now the energy can be managed in such a way that people can drive a really high performing car.
And how many things can you use with that? I mean, if you do it for cars, I mean, we're going to get rid of oil. Oil powers a lot of things.
I think we could get rid of a significant amount of the oil we use for personal vehicles if we did this, because we could use electric vehicles to support intermodal transportation. And for long distances, you can obviously use a pure hybrid. But for short distances, why not commute in all electric mode? It's a really wonderful, I have to sort of say, I get so excited because it's really a fantastic car to drive.
Yeah.
You know, when you drive in electric mode, it's just so quiet and so fast.
Wow.
And completely clean.
Mine is quiet anyway. Turn up the radio. I'm only kidding. I'm only. But what's the difference between an electrical vehicle and a plug-in hybrid?
Okay, so right now, all the major automakers have come out with plug-in cars, and there are basically three categories. One is the all-electric, like the Nissan Leaf and the Ford Focus EV. You'll be seeing those introduced in New York in January, February. And those go about 100 miles on one charge, and they're all electric, no gasoline.
Yeah.
Then you have a vehicle like the Volt, which is an extended range electric vehicle. So it has a smaller battery on board, and it goes 40 miles in electric mode, but then the gasoline engine will kick in, and it will drive as far as a regular car. A plug-in hybrid is like the plug-in Prius, which is coming out next year too, and that vehicle has an even smaller battery. It'll go about 13 miles in all electric mode, and then it drives like a regular Prius hybrid.
Yeah.
So you have sort of vehicles to fit a spectrum of uses, and you can figure out which is the best for you.
Do you get the same power? I mean,
Well,
the acceleration and everything?
It's interesting because the faster the acceleration, the shorter the distance you can travel.
Oh, okay.
So automakers
So
try
if
to
I peel
control
out
it.
and go down the block, I'm not going to go very far.
Yeah, and so they do try to control it because it could go as fast as a racing car. I mean, the acceleration could be incredibly fast with an electric car.
Wow, yeah.
So, with what's the GM has done with the Volt, which is pretty cool, is they have a sport mode, so you can turn up the acceleration.
Yeah.
They can have an economy. They have an economy mode, so you can turn down an acceleration. So if you feel like conserving energy, you use the economy mode, and
Yeah.
if you feel like, and if you feel like really going fast, you can use the sport mode. So they
Yeah.
allow you to have some fun with the
that's
car
great.
as well.
All right. And so how are we getting the word out? I mean, this is one way on TV. What are some of the things that we're doing to promote it?
Well, the Power Authority holds workshops for customers, so we try to get the word out that way through vehicle demonstrations, let people ride and drive the cars.
Sure.
We also support conferences like the one that was held at Lehman College last week, where there were speakers from the auto industry spoke about the vehicles. There's this great movie, The Revenge of the Electric Car, which is really also getting the word out on the cars. The best way you can learn about the cars is to go to the dealership and get in and drive one.
Get in and drive.
Yeah, and then it will just make you start thinking about cars in a different way.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Yeah. What about the supply and demand? Are they producing a lot of them right about now?
They're producing, sort of slowly ramping up because they are expensive to build, and the first generation is more expensive than other cars. There is
Yeah.
currently a tax credit of $7,500, so you can get some money back, but these cars are a little more expensive than
Yeah.
other cars. So they're ramping up slowly, but I think that, as volume grows, the prices will come down, and I know they're here to stay because they are so much fun and they make so much sense.
Yeah. So what's the difference in the price, though? I mean, a regular car would cost, say, $30,000 on
Yeah.
average, and then
These are like a
would be
10,000
10,000
more. But with a $7,500 tax credit, that
yeah,
can help.
That could bring it back down
Yeah.
to close. It's like getting a custom package,
Yeah.
looking it up. Do
Yeah.
you own one?
I don't own one. I wish I did. I'm dying to get one.
Well, the company gave you one.
Well, I get to drive one for our company. That's
Yeah.
true. I do. I get to drive one for customer demonstration. So I've driven all the ones that are out there, and yeah.
Is
they're
the
great.
feeling the same? I mean, is it just like a regular car?
No, it's much smoother than a regular car.
Wow.
It
Because you
will-
don't have the rumbling of the
yeah,
motor, maybe? I don't know.
exactly, and no gear shifting. So,
So
it's
this
very,
is going to
very
be
smooth.
this is going to be a big deal. I mean,
think it's- yeah.
something new. The price is going to be very high right off the bat. So after they bring
Right.
the prices down, I guess
Yeah,
you know.
and I think it'll start out with those who can afford it will get it, but other people, I can encourage everyone to go to the dealership and drive it, just to become familiar with what's coming.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the next car. If somebody's planning on buying a car in 5 years' time, they'll think of that car because by that point, the price will have come down enough for it to make sense for them.
Then people can go back to the big SUVs.
Yeah,
right, with no
those are-
problem.
Yeah, those I think are going to fade out because they're heavier than we need and they use more gas than we need to use. I mean, in some applications, you really do need an SUV for, if you're driving in heavy
big
snow
family
or,
yeah.
those
But
types of
if
things.
it's electric, you can just plug it in and it won't burn any gas.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Eventually, there will be SUVs that will. Right now, the automakers are focusing on smaller cars, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, where can we get more information?
Well, you can go on the NIPA website. Feel free to contact NIPA. There's a website called goelectricdrive.com, which is an industry website. The Power Authority is a member of that organization, and that gives a lot of information. I really recommend the dealership
You do?
firsthand.
I have one more quick question. Let me do this. How long does it take to charge it? Is it an
Okay.
overnight charge or?
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you asked that. We expect that the cars will be plugged in at night. They'll take about 6 to 8 hours to charge if it's an all electric. If it's just it's a Volt, it'll take about 4 hours.
Yes.
Our nighttime charging is great because it really makes efficient use of the electric grid off peak. Off peak power is generally wasted. Here's a great opportunity to use that power that would otherwise be wasted and displace petroleum. So it's really a win-win.
What if you have a generator built in?
A generator built into the car?
Yeah.
What type
Because
of
if the
generator?
power goes, we have a big storm, your power goes out, you can't plug it in. Oh, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Those are little things that we can add on. But Kerry, thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Kerry
welcome.
Jane King, all right, from New York Power Authority. Very interesting. I'm going to go to the dealership and try one of those.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
so pleased.
Yes.